for those people who wished to use the switch statement, I think here we go. So we are going to use the switch statement, and for me I think the switch statement, once you learn how it works, it will be very simple for you to use. Our items are already there. We have pen chalk. It is the same thing. Here we have department, we have ICT and accountant department. So the accounting department. So let's go for the code, and you know our code should be in the click event of the compute button. So we double click on the compute button, then come here to the switch statement. You just begin with the switch, then open brackets, then open braces, and press enter. Then we can put here our combo box dot selected index. So this code means that whenever the switch statement will be run by the compiler, it will check which index is being selected by the which selected index is being selected by the combo box. So this means that, let's go here that you can see, this means that this will be index 0, this will be index 1, and this will be index 2. For those people whom remember the C programming, you remember when we used to use the arrays, they begin from 0. So we used to index them using that syntax, which begins from 0, 1. And remember the first item always, most of the programs, so the first item begins from 0. And here we are also having 1, here 2. It is not 1, 2, 3. Once you do that, you have failed. That means you have added something which is not being seen by the program. So let's go back, and here in the switch statement we always have what we call the case. So we have a case statement inside here, and we say that once you find a case where the selected index is 0, so we come and put here 0, and you put those marks. So we want to eliminate the error which is saying us, always remember that whenever you use a switch statement, you have also to use what we call the break. The break statements helps us to stop the program from running. It stops from this. That's why you see now. So if we don't wish to disturb ourselves, we can just copy this, Ctrl C, and come here down, come here just out of the brackets, and Ctrl V. You do the same thing, Ctrl V. So remember, we have only 3 items, so that is 0, 1, 2. If we had 4, that would be 0, 1, 2, 3. So put here our indexes. So inside here is where we are going to put the code, and we are going to first write a code which is going to check if our variables here, which we are going to initialize now, we are going to create some variables. Let me just copy from the previous one. So these variables, I'm going to paste them. here. So Control V. So we are going to check here if this variable pen is found that it is 0, it has to alert in our label 4. So let us begin. If VB pen is equal to 0, then come and do this here. So we are going to put in our text box. Let me also copy it from here. So we are going to display in our label. We shall display here that items are out of stock. So we shall say label.text, the pens are out of stock. So after here we can just continue with the else and say else. Once this statement is not found true, if 0 is not equal or less than, let's change this to less than. Once 0 is found equal or less than 0, so once choke, VB choke, okay, this one, I think this should be VB pen, sorry, VB pen, that should be VB pen. And if VB pen is found less than or equal to 0, then our compiler will do this and it will run that the pens are out of stock. Else, once it does not find this statement true, so it comes to the second. It says else we just display that label 4.text and assign it with a balance of pens is, and we add it with, we concatenate it with the VB pen variable, VB pen, and terminate. As easy as that. So we have also another method of doing this same code, and I think this is more simpler. So we are going to use it on the second index, which will be index 1. So we go inside our second index and say if VB, today it will be VB choke. If VB choke is less than or equal to 0, then alert us with this. So come here and write our code and say label 4.text, assign it with this and say the choke. Remember, our second index or our index 1 is choke. The choke are out of stock. Then you have to terminate, and after here, don't disturb yourself, you just break and terminate. You just break it from there, then come, instead of putting the else, don't put it, just come here under and say label